guys, welcome back to my channel. So a while ago I was asked to do a day to night look or a office to kind of going out look using all Lolo products. I know in particular they wanted me to use the Laid Bare eyeshadow palette, which I don't own, but I have the kind of details of the shade descriptions and also the colours. So I'm going to use colours that I've got from Lolo that are very similar to this, so that the person sorry, I forgot to remind myself of the name of the person, but I'll leave it on the screen, can follow along. It's similar colours. So that's what I'm going to do in today's video. So I'm going to start off with the day look. I'm going to go about my day, off into town and stuff, and then I'll come back in the evening and show you how I then turn that day look into a evening look to go out for a special occasion, whatever it may be. So if you're interested, then please keep on watching. Okay, I'm going to kick off with base. I'm going to use the Barely Beige Mineral Concealer and use this to kind of more in my pinpoint areas and then blend out. So I've tapped some into the lid. I'm going to use quite a fluffy brush for this. This is the Real Technique setting brush. I'm going to take some, tap off, and I'm going to start with the areas I need to. So I'm going to start packing this under the eye to begin with. So I'm going to pack first and then I will blend away. I just want to get that coverage down first. So obviously for this day look, I'm not going to go too heavy on the skin. I'm going to add a little bit of something to the eyes, but nothing too crazy. So you can see that's just nicely evened out under my eyes and kind of giving a little brightening effect as well. I'm going to add some to the chin area, where I do have some spots. So I'm basically just adding this to any areas I want to cover up slightly, any redness. I'm just giving a slightly smoother appearance, but I'm leaving the majority of the skin kind of bare for this. Okay, so that's all the coverage I'm going to add to the skin, to keep it quite light, just in the areas where I want it for this day look. That's it. The only other couple of products I'm going to add to the skin is blusher and a little bit of highlight, because I do like glow. Obviously, I know a fair few people aren't a huge fan of highlighters, so obviously don't skip that part, but I quite like a little glow still. I'm actually going to start off with the highlighter shade. I'm going to go with the Champagne Illuminator for the day look actually. I'm taking my fluffy brush again. I'm just going to pinpoint this in the areas I like, so I like to give like a glow along the cheekbone, top of the cheekbones. That's kind of where the light would naturally hit. And I also like to add some right above the brow here. Yeah, overall I do prefer a kind of more glowy base, just because I think it gives a more, personally I think it gives a more youthful look. And slightly more healthier skin look as well. Okay, then I'm actually going to take the Coralista blusher. And again, I'm just going to pop this kind of right on the apples of the cheeks and blend it upwards towards the top of my cheekbones. And I'm going to build up a fair amount just because I do like blush. I think it's very pretty. So a nice light coverage, a little bit of glow, nice flush to the cheeks, and that's it for the day look. In terms of brows, I don't really deviate between the look from a day to evening. I fill them in both the exact same way. So I'm just going to go with the Lolo Duo in dark. I'm going to use the little angle brush from Luxie for this. And like I said, I fill mine in the exact same way for both day and evening looks. So let's start with underneath just to get that shape. And that's where I like the most of the product to be. Then I bring whatever's left up and start shaping the arch section. And the very little that is left I'll then just push through the front of the brows. Yeah, so just like that I'm just going to do the same other brow, and like I said, that won't deviate from day to evening really. Okay, and then the only thing I'm going to add to the eyes in terms of colour is I'm going to go with Mud Pie from obviously Lolo, but the mineral eyeshadow. For the Laid Bare palette, I would go with the shade, which one was it? Birthday Suit, which is kind of, it's a matte grey brown. It's not quite the grey brown, but it will have the same effect. And looking at the picture, it's not too dissimilar. So I'm just going to take a little bit into the lid. I'm going to take a very fluffy brush. This is actually the end of a jewelled brush that came in one of the ABH palettes. I'm going to take some, make sure I dust it off. And all I'm going to do with this is actually, I'm going to just pop this onto the outer portion of the lid, a little bit through the crease, and just slowly bring it across. But I'm not going to go too heavy. And what I might do is take some of that Belly Beige again and soften it. So I just want to give some little shape to the eyes, but without going too heavy. Keep it very day appropriate. I mean, of course, like, I go heavy in the daytime as well, but for the purposes of like the look that I know that I'm wanting to achieve, I think a lot of people like this is kind of as heavy for the day look as I'd go. That's all I would add for the day look portion. So now just mascara. Now I don't have the Big Lash mascara anymore, which is what I do love from Lily Lolo. So I'm just going to go with my Ilia Limit mascara. That's the only product that I don't have currently from Lily Lolo. But I'm just going to do a light coating to the upper lashes only. I'm going to go for more that lengthening effect as opposed to the volume effect. So just very lightly run through the brows. Mascara, sorry. Lashes. Okay, so then on to lips, and again keeping it very, very simple. I'm going to start off with the Nude Allure, the Soft Nude lip liner first. I'm just going to use this to line, but also just slightly smudge into the lips, just add a little bit of colour. So just like that. And then I'm going to top off a little bit of gloss, and I'm going with Whisper for this. Okay, so that's the day look done. Something nice and simple. There is a little bit of something to the eyes. It looks like you've made some effort, but it didn't take too long at all. So perfect for if you're going to work, or if you just want to go out about the day. And also if you don't have too much time, this is quite a good look to achieve. Like I said, it didn't take me long at all, and it kind of looks like you've put an effort in because you've got the eyeshadow. Really, it's just the eyeshadow that you quickly buffed into the outer corners, and you're done. So this is the day portion. I hope you like the look, and I'll come back later on in the day after I've been out about in town. I might do a little workout, and then I'm going to show you how I'd actually transform this one into an evening look when I go out or something. I'll show you. So I'll be back in a second to do that for you. Okay, so I'm back. It's now kind of late afternoon, evening, around 5 o'clock. So I thought I'd show you the evening portion of this. I'm just transforming it as it is to an evening look. I'm actually not going anywhere this evening, which is a shame, but we're having one of our date nights in. So we kind of get a little bit dressed up, and we basically make each other cocktails and enjoy a night in. Strictly's tonight, so you're watching Strictly. If you do watch Strictly, let me know who you want to win down below. I think I want Rose and Giovanni to win, but I also do love John and AJ as well. And then I think we're going to watch a film. So yeah, so I'm going to do the second portion of this look now. I am drinking a glass of wine whilst I do this. And yeah, what I will do is right at the end, I will just do real quick clips of kind of a little bit of outfit and hair as well, just to show you what I do. But yeah, we quite like to do these like stay at home date nights. It's a bit fun, saves a little bit of money as well, and yeah. And we'll just shade. Okay, so I'm going to start off my skin like I did before. So I'm going back in with the Belly Beige concealer. This time I'm going to use it more over as a foundation. I'm taking a slightly bigger brush. This is, I mean, it's quite a mini, but like a thicker bristle brush. This is the Real Techniques mini medium sculpting brush. And I'm going to use this. I don't have my kabuki brush from Lily Lolo to use, but like I said, I'm going to use this as foundation. So I'm going to give myself a bit more of a coverage this time round. as I said, I'm just going to go straight over the top of what I've already done. And because I haven't mixed powders and creams, it makes it a little bit easier to do this. So if I was doing all cream base, then it'd be really easy to go over the top. And similarly, because I've done all powder, easy to go on top. It's when you kind of start mixing the two and then trying to top up later, I think it can be a little bit trickier, but this works perfectly fine. So base, I'm just making it so it's more kind of fuller coverage. As you can see, kind of this area disappeared throughout the day, so I'm just going to top up those areas as well. So I'm just going to do a general coverage first, and I'll use a much denser, smaller brush to pinpoint those areas I want to. So as mentioned, going with a slightly smaller, denser brush. This is actually a Dulux concealer brush from Real Techniques. I'm just going to really load up the coverage in the pinpoint areas this time round. So just under the eyes. Okay, this time around I'm going to go in with some bronzer. So taking the sculpting kit, I'm using the same sculpting and mini brush. And I'm now going to go ahead and build up the warmth on my skin. Now for highlighting, instead of going with the champagne shade, and even though I'm going to be using like a goldy bronze on the eyes, I'm actually going to go in with the rose illuminator. I just want something a bit more icy for this look, and it's going to kind of stand out a bit more on the skin, and I'm going for much more of a pink tone blusher this time. So that's what I'm going for that. I'm just using the exact same brush again, to be honest. So for blusher, I'm actually going to go in with a mineral blusher, Ooh La La. Like I said, I just want a bit more pinky tone. Now being careful with this, because obviously it's mineral, it's going to be a lot more easier to go heavy. So taking a little bit in the brush, in the lid, still using the same brush. And I'm going to go ahead and just build that up. So for the day, obviously I went for quite light base, kind of coverage only in the areas where I really wanted it. A little bit of blusher just to kind of rosy up the cheeks, and then a bit of a glow, whereas now I really want to glam up the base layer of the skin as well. So adding a little bit of warmth around the skin just to sculpt it, going with a bit of an extra glow, and then going with a slightly more intense blusher as well. In all honesty, I think I'm going to leave my brows because I don't think they need anything adding or touching up to it. So I am going to move on to my eyes now that is base done. But yeah, just a nice bit extra glow base. There's a bit more colour to it with the bronzer, added some warmth. A bit more of a pinky toned, more intense blusher for the evening, which I really like. Okay, so I'm going to do more on the eyes. So I'm going to take my Lolo eye primer this time. And I'm going to load up the lids. I'm not worried if it's going to buff away that brown. I am going to go back in with that brown. The reason I've gone with the primer this time is because I want the eyeshadows to be more intense, and with the cream primer the mineral blushes really kind of pop and are just much more pigmented that way. So starting off with that shade Mud Pie like I did the time before, so that's the kind of alternative for the shade Birthday Suit in the Laid Bare palette. Again, I'm going to take this, I picked up a lot more this time, still on a fluffy brush, and I'm going to really build up this outer portion of the eye, and I'm going to bring it right across the lid as well. Just slowly buff it out with the fluffy brush. And you know what? I am going to go ahead and wing this out. And actually, alternatively, if you're using the Laid Bare palette, you could go in the shade Exhibitionist, which is more of a matte olive brown, sorry. and that would also work really pretty. Right, I will blend that out further in a minute. I'm just going to really lay this down the other eye now. But as you can see, already pick up a little bit more, but also that primer has just really intensified that colour from this morning. I'm also going to take a little bit of that shade and drag it along the lower lash line too. Oh, that's got some purple on that brush, whoopsie. Problems when you don't clean your brushes on a regular basis. I'm actually going to go back in with my Lolo Champagne highlighter and use it to highlight my brow bone. Now for the Laid Bare palette, I'd use the shade Au Naturel, which is like a pink nudie shimmer. So that'd be the alternative if you've got that palette. But I'm just going to take a little bit of this. And a nice, just a little highlight to the brow bone. Do you know what, I might just add it. Okay, so a little change in direction. I can't find Bronze Sparkle, which is what I was going to use. I've got my bag of loose Lolo mineral eyeshadows with me, and for some reason it's not in there. Because that was going to be my substitute for Lady Godiva, because it's quite a nice rich gold in that palette. So I'm going to have to go with a different option. So I'm actually going to go back in with the Rose Champagne colour. So if you prefer kind of more goldy tones, go with that shade. I'm going to switch and go for a pinky icy shimmery shade instead. Okay, so I'm going to go in with this. I'm going to take on a flat brush. And I'm just going to really shimmer up or lighten up this inner portion. Go back in with the brush, use some Mud Pie just to make sure it's nice and blended. Okay, then I'm going to actually go in with the black liner from a Lily Lolo, and I'm going to go with a nice wing for this look. So let's start with the wings first and then just drag it across the eye. Okay, I am going to bring it a little, extend it a little bit in the inner corner as well. Then I'm just going to top off the upper and lower lashes with mascara. Give them a nice coat, a bit more volume in comparison to the day look. Okay, so that's the eye portion done. A nice wing liner, a little bit of a cat eye effect. I had hoped to use Bronze Sparkle and add that bit of goldy bronzeness to it, but this is still just as pretty. I just think the bronze would have really made it stand out a bit more. So I'm going to move on to lips. I'm still going to keep it nude like I did for the day, but just a bit more of an intense nude. And yeah, so I'm going to go in with soft nude first, the lip liner. And then for lipstick, I'm going to go in with Nude Allure. And I probably am going to top it up with a bit of lip gloss as well from the Whisper lip gloss. Okay, so that is the makeup portion done. So that's how I just transform the day look into this more evening glam look. I'm going to quickly go and get myself fully ready, and then I'll be back in a bit to finish off this video.